Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, here live on Twitch this evening. We're going to be playing another rotation proof deck, so going back to that series. So this is one that I wanted to try out. It is a blue-white Azorius mid-range deck. So not quite hero, not quite flyers, not quite control. Kind of a mid-range strategy leveraging off efficient threats, kind of some disruption, and a number of planeswalkers. So this deck is completely containing cards that will survive this upcoming rotation. So you don't have to worry if you do have these cards, they won't go away. So I usually play through a couple ranked matches, see how they kind of work out. We've gotten some mixed results with these decks. Like Simic Ramp's been really good, but the Phoenix deck has been awful. So really just kind of seeing what decks might have some legs post-rotation. So this deck in particular, we'll walk it through. So I went with the theme of cheap threats and then disruption to kind of put pressure on your opponent. So main board, Spectral Sailor is kind of the maybe in the list. I wanted a 1-drop with some advantage, so it was either this or Pteramander. I went with Spectral Sailor since it's built-in card draw and we can flash it in on end step. Tithe Taker is disruption in the form of taxing your opponent for an additional mana, so that could be good against like Nexus, which has seen an uptick, kind of opponents playing stuff on their turn. Works well. Kind of Teferi completely shuts it off. Tithe Taker is another tax. Tomik's in here for the Nisa matchup. It can shut off the lands from being activated with the elementals. Also just a 2-mana, 2/3 flyer is pretty solid. Deputy, great against Scapeshift, also good as just kind of exiling their opponent's threats as need be. We could also bounce it with Teferi back to our hand and then recast it if we need to reset it. Prison Realm, some good removal in the format right now. Then I got a Planeswalker mix in the 3-mana slot of Gideon. We have the early creatures to protect it with taking advantage of it. So if we have, say, a Tomik, we can give it Vigilance and then it can be back on defense. Mu Yanling is one I want to test out, see how good it is. If we could ever get the emblem off, it's pretty much gas in the deck. Narset, Teferi, we all know what they're about. Good card advantage that way. Kefnet in the main board at least is pretty much just being played as a 4/5 flyer for 4 mana. We don't have any instants or sorceries in the main board, but it's pretty good value anyways. When it dies, it gets shuffled into the library, so it's a good card to have to just kind of beat down your opponent. And then Elite Guardmage is another evasive threat, gains us life, draws us cards. So all our cards kind of have text on them in terms of card advantage or evasion. And then I want to try 2 God-Eternal Oketras. We have like 16, 20, 22 creatures in the deck, counting the Oketras. So it's something good that we can try out as well to make some tokens. And then both of these get shuffled back to the library, which is something good to have when you're trying to grind out your opponent with some value. Mana base wise, we got our basics, we got Hallowed Fountains, Tranquil Cove because we don't have a Scryland. And then I'm trying out 2 Interplanar Beacons and 2 Mobilized District just as man lands. I was considering the Proliferate land, but we'll see how this works. Might want to go up another beacon though, depending how he plays out. We have 8, 10, 11 planeswalkers, so we'll see if that's enough. Sideboard wise, Devout Decree, red and black stuff, Aether Gust, green and red stuff, Cerulean Drake versus Mono Red matchup, or Feather, Dovin's Veto versus Control. Dovin's Hand of Control can be good against Feather if we play dinos or anything kind of big. It's also another tax effect on like the control decks as well. This is something I want to try out. Time Wipe when we need to board wipe, and then Selective Snare is actually really good against elementals and vampires right now. You basically just pay X, and that's how many creatures you get to reset to the opponent's hand. So it's pretty much the deck. We'll try it out. I got to Platinum rank, so we'll try it out on Platinum 4, see how it goes. And then we'll take it from there. We'll make any changes, and then we'll just update it in the final deck list on YouTube afterwards. So like I mentioned, I'm live on Twitch right now, trying to do a couple streams throughout the week, live on Twitch. Come September, I'll provide a fixed schedule when you can catch all my streams. Otherwise, if you miss anything, everything is available on my YouTube channel, MTG_Joe. If you do enjoy the content and want to show your support, subscribing to either YouTube, following on Twitch, both are free and easy ways to help out. And then I am a TCG player affiliate, meaning there's a link in the video description below on YouTube. If you follow that link to TCG player, if you're planning on purchasing any cards for this set, Throne of Eldraine, M20 or Commander 19, if you follow that link, do your normal purchase. It's a free and easy way just to let them know that I sent you there. Other than that, enough pandering, let's get to some games. If you can, let me know how the webcam placement is. Just started that up on the stream, so it might be a little bit awkward depending. I had it higher before, but it ended up just getting in the way of the opponent view. And I promised from last one, but my doggo's, I don't know if we can see. Can we see the doggo? Doggo's sleeping beside me. She likes to hang out here. Alright, let's get that set up. Sounds a little awkward. We don't have the blue source. Like, we could Prison Realm for sure, but mind you, opponent goes first. We can Prison Realm. Let's see how it goes. Might have to play a couple games just to get a feel for this. There's not really many good, like Seal Away's gone. There's not really good one-drop threats in like white that are kind of moving out. Okay, so we're playing against Scape Shift. Could be Yark Field as well. That's the one I've been leveling up with. Okay, so we hit our blue source. That's good because we can flash in Spectral Sailor. We have Growth Spiral here. Most likely if they're passing through. Okay, so this could be Nexus. So we actually have a fair amount of disruption main board against Nexus. Opponent also missed a land drop off Growth Spiral and a card draw for the turn. That is quite advantageous for us. Tithe Taker is another way to put some tax on them. So this makes it so like Chemister's Insight, Nexus's all cost more. So here I'm gonna Deputy, get rid of the Ascanta. That'll help him dig for more lands, so we want to shut that off. Just play that out. Okay, so they have the main phase the op as well. They're digging for the land. Yeah, so we took him down. Nice disruption. Obviously Nexus missing land drops. So in this matchup, I'm going to bring in the Aether Gusts. Probably. Oh, they just concede. Wow. Alright, taking down Simic Nexus. Let's run it back. I'll take those free wins against Nexus. I guess they didn't want to play against the deck with all tax effects and disruption. So we'll run another one. How's everyone playing with the standard shakeup? Have you played any different decks? Has it just been the same? Ran into a lot of Rakdos and like Dinos. Ended up just playing the 5-color Golos deck we played on stream, and then some Is It Saheeli afterwards. I'll keep this hand. Opponent goes first. Likely to draw into another land. Vampires. So we got the land. Multiple Teferi, like Deputies, Prison Realm, and Teferi can just bounce all these. Tomik on 2 is a good blocker. Okay, so you don't usually see Dusk Legion in the Vampire list that often. Might be a fill-in for something else. So I'll probably take the damage if they want to attack in. Oh, they just go soaring. We'll see if they just sack that. Yep.
Thank you for your service.
So here, I could Teferi bounce, but I think I just want, I'll take a turn of damage and then just get rid of the Sorin. Sorin gives him a lot of card advantage. Okay, so we have enough lands for everything in our deck. We don't need more.
These childish games bore me.
Because the Sorin allows them to play another thing. We could bounce this, but then they could play pretty much any of the creatures in their deck. Okay, so they don't spend the turn pumping. That's good for us. Adonto. This looks like a perfect Deputy turn. Get rid of both the Adontos. Then we can play Teferi. Bounce the Knight of Eben. We're not going to block, obviously. They can pump. Let the tap land. This deck's been doing pretty well so far. No blocks here. Huh, no pump either. Wonder what they have in hand. Sky March and Legion Suspend. So Spectral Sailor is not bad. It's a way we could potentially protect.
This isn't a fight.
So I'm gonna return Knight of Eden.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Mobilized District's not bad. It's a blocker, so we'll just pass turn. See how they attack in here. To be honest, if they attack with both, I'm gonna flash in the Sailor and double block the Legion's Lieutenant. The Sanctum Seeker is good. That is a definite. So we lose the card advantage. But I think getting off the Anthem is going to be good. Because then next turn I can Deputy the Sanctum Seeker away.
This is hardly my worst feat.
Ooh, Gideon's good too. So we'll just plus Gideon here.
I walk a righteous path.
Doesn't matter because we're not attacking. And then Deputy the Sanctum Seeker. Actually, yeah, we get the 1 point of damage in. Might have gone lifelink there, but it gives us another blocker. We can double block if they have an Anthem effect, perhaps. Actually, no, I'd rather keep these things hidden. So Gideon's good, I find, in decks where you have stuff that can protect it. And then you get this like residual value. So we have cheap flyers with Vigilance that can poke in low points of damage. So Sorin, they can sack, get something back. If they get the Adontos back, it's pretty good for them.
Thank you for your service.
That was very good for the opponent. They got the Vanguard, so we can go. So we're just gonna pump it here.
Prepare for battle.
Attack into Sorin. It's more just to see if they'll pay for life. They block, pay 4. And then we'll see what we get off of Elite Guardmage first. Before playing the land, in case we get a tap land. so we got Tithe Taker. It's decent blocker this turn, so we can throw it in front of the Knight of Eben. I'm gonna hold the land. Everything in our deck costs under 5 mana. Post sideboard as well. We'll get like Time Wipe, which helps in this matchup. Okay, we're going all after Gideon. I think I'm okay with this. I'm just gonna do this actually. I want him to spend their mana pumping up the Knight of Eben, so that way they can't cast another spell from the hand. Gideon was dead anyway, so I wasn't gonna throw our stuff in.
Another day, villain.
Soren's at 5. It's part of the reason I like Tithe Taker as well. It's tax. Oh, they're gonna sack. Get back the Seeker. The fact that the ability is an uptick seems a little overpowered. Another Danto. Yeah, we're pretty much dead this one. We can attack into 2, but we don't have the board wipe. Let's just concede. With Sanctum Seeker and the Adantos, they can just keep attacking. They gain the life anyways, and then Soren starts putting lifelink stuff. So in this game, Selective Snare is good. Devote Decree is good. Time Wipe. Dovin's interesting. Probably not good enough. So Tomik doesn't do enough. This can make him smaller, but probably not great. We got 4 cards to cut. Narset's a distraction, helps us dig further. Tithe Taker is at least a decent blocker. Probably just the Spectral Sailors. It's an early block that can trade. Yeah, I'll probably just get rid of those. I like Tithe Taker better because it can give us 2 bodies. And with the other one, it's just going to be always just a blocker. Like, I doubt we're going to get to a point where we can cast it, draw a bunch of cards with it against this matchup. We need to be the control deck. Yeah, Teferi can hopefully slow us down. We got a lot of good blockers here. Guardmage is insurance for our life total. Devout Decree is good here. Worth noting, it is a sorcery. I think I've made that mistake once or twice. Okay, that's great. So we Teferi, bounce it, hopefully draw into land. Through Interplanar Beacon. Let's gain that life.
Thank me later.
So that at least sets them back a turn. Soren, they can downtick to put a vampire into play, but then we can Devout Decree something. Okay, so
we will meet again.
They spend their turn with Noxious Grasp. Now we just get to play the Elite Guardmage. Actually, we probably should have played Kefnet. It was a faster clock. It's probably an error. Was an autopilot. For those of you tuning in, we are 1-0 in terms of matches. We bet Simic Nexus with the deck with this rotation-proof blue-white midrange. We are currently in game 2 against Vampires. We lost the first match. They got some timely Sorens in. So we've moved now into a little bit more of a control build post-board. So they'll probably hear... That is very aggressive. Oh, land's perfect here. So we can Narset.
The focus and home your proud.
Get Gideon. and Devout Decree. So sequencing there because we can scry host.
Always return.
Do I want the other land? So I have enough for Gideon. I have enough and that. I think we bottom the land here. I need more colored sources, I think. This isn't really going to do much. Okay, so they play an Adonto. And a Legion's Lieutenant. So, let's see what we get first with Narset.
An open mind.
I think we take the Devout Decree. And then I think we just get... To be honest, I'm just going to get Gideon going again. And then Selective Snare them back to the hand.
We can banish evil from this plane.
And then we'll just go... Vampire... Selective Snare is really good in the format. I gotta start playing a lot more of that. So really what we're trying to do in this game is just disrupt them. Everything they've played we've kind of answered or kind of forced them to have some sort of tempo loss. So here they're basically reset. We have Gideon that could start attacking in. Oh, that's actually really good because we could time wipe their board. So we'll attack in first. As long as your turn, yeah, you're indestructible.
Share in my light.
So we'll see. They'll probably pay with the Adonto, which is fine. It's 4 damage either way. They don't block, so they're gonna have to pay another 4. 2 mana, open. Yeah, let's just go time wipe. It's fine. Oh, we have to return it? Oh, that's stupid. Thought I'd give you the option. That's fine. Narset's done what she needs to do.
Such violence is upsetting.
Alright, at the champion. So Devout Decree gets rid of champion. So let's go you. I'm gonna keep Prison Realm, it's an answer for Sorin. And I'm just gonna go Kefnet here. Kefnet can block Adonto, and then we can start giving it lifelink with Gideon to start gaining some life. So it's another way we can hopefully push ahead in this matchup. Oh, they go to Spark. That gets to go on top. It's fine. So we'll take 3 damage, but we're quite far ahead on life. So I'm gonna go. Let's go you. Just want to tap my mana to get the most. Okay, so let's go Gideon. Gain a life.
Charge into darkness.
So I can Deputy of Detention on the Adonto. Probably, or just go Prison Realm. Let's just go Tithe Taker this time. plus this. Doesn't matter. They'll attack into it. Just give it
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Okay, so they attack, will block. Makes them have to pay another 4 life. Or they just go Noxious Grasp.
Gave out.
Yeah. Make them pay 4. At this point, they have enough mana that the tax isn't really going to do much. So here, it's 4 mana to activate, and then I could shock this in and Prison Realm. Or just do Deputy. Okay, so let's do that. I just want to close out the game as quick as possible. Or actually, this gets Vigilance, so I don't need to shock. Oh, no, I do need to shock because this thing didn't tap properly. Cool. Took him down, took him down. I think we run it back. That was a pretty good matchup. Haven't got out God-Eternal Oketra yet, so can't really comment on how effective that is. Kefnet basically bitted the Spark, which was fine. That was part of the reason we're playing it. Instead of it getting exiled, it just goes back to our library. So we're just really looking to optimize our threats and to get consistent kind of recycling of the good ones. We're using the disruption elements of like Teferi, Tithe Taker, Deputy of Detention to kind of hit him that way. Also something we can kind of do at times is bounce our Prison Realm to recycle it to get the Scry again. Opponent is taking a while to sideboard. Not sure if they realized what the matchup was against. Mind you, they played pretty long game 1. So a big bonus is they are on Prison Realm for Sorin. Time Wipe, I think we try. So it's very slow. We got to survive to turn 5. They did mulligan. But hopefully they commit enough to the board. We may have one too many lands in the deck as well. I have to run the... So we're 24 lands with like a 2.6 converted mana cost. Okay, so they have a 1-drop, so a lot better start. Okay, Tithe Taker's good for next turn. Tithe Taker is effectively 2 blockers for us. That should help us bridge. Adonto. Mu Yanling is another card that can slow them down a bit, or at the very least distract him. So yeah, probably just do this. Power down the Adonto. They miss it? Okay, so they do have the line trap. I was going to say if they miss it, then I'm not going to block. Here I'm going to block like this. I want them to spend their mana pumping this turn. By doing that, they don't commit more to the board. So let's see how good this little Planeswalker is. Has anyone in chat played with her before? This is the first I've played with her. So I'm gonna do this on... So if I do it on this, they have to pump. I think we just do that, because then it just makes it basically 1 power. I can block here and it doesn't really do anything. No attacks. Till your next turn. I don't know if we have enough protection elements. Wow. Okay. That's fine with me. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they respect this at all. Okay, they do. 2 damage in. Basically fogged itself. Let's go Kefnet here. So we can go Knight of Even. We block that. They pump. So that gets it to 5. So that does kill Kefnet, but it shuffles it back. Which is probably fine anyways. Like, she's been doing a pretty good job so far of just stalling the opponent. Like, us getting to the time wipe. So I'm gonna block here.
Mortals are so reckless.
Yeah, we'll put that back. Ooh, that's good, because we don't have to shock ourselves. So, let's clear the board. Now they'll attack for 1 each turn. Sorry, to get some advantage there. Kefnet is 2 cards away. So unless they play a Sorin, I ideally don't want to play Prison Realm this turn, because I want to take advantage of the Scry. I don't think we'll ever get the emblem off. Oh, now I definitely want a Deputy of Detention.
Don't try my patience.
Okay, so we got the second Prison Realm, so I think we do it now.
Do not follow the Midrange River.
It basically slows them down a bit more until we draw some of our creatures. We've got a lot of creatures in the deck still, so hopefully Kefnet can carry us there. They attack at the 4. Next turn we can down tick it and make an elemental as well. So that's 2 attackers, 8 power in the air. Come on. Been pleasantly surprised with her. I wish the -3 can, even if it was like a 3/3 elemental or 2/2, just being able to down tick. Okay, so Sanctum Seeker is obviously something we want to get rid of sooner than later.
Now, be patient.
Okay, so we go Kefnet here. So I can make the 4. I could keep pumping her up to try to get the card advantage. Or what we can do, Prison Realm here, get rid of that, Scry to make our draw better. Potentially set up Kefnet. Ooh, I'll take a Teferi. Make an elemental and then just start pressuring the opponent.
Take to the sky, my friend.
I was trying to make this deck a little bit more budget friendly, but the problem is a lot of the good blue-white stuff is at rare and mythic. That's fine. We'll decline the reveal. So blue-white. So before we decide, what we want to do. Let's bounce.
Stand by and watch.
Take one back. So a lot of this deck is just delay. So it's similar to like mono blue tempo. You want to just stall the game while you attack your opponent to death. The nice thing too is if we draw a Deputy, we can bounce our Prison Realm and then catch it all under a Deputy, and then recast the Prison Realm. So we got quite a few. Awesome. Took down vampires. So I'll do a quick one in best of one. Get all our daily stuff. I'm just going to play regular for now. Just, people usually ask for best of one just to see how decks play out, so we'll include it there really quick. And then call it a night, make some dinner. Let me know in the chat or on the YouTube if there's any other decks or archetypes you'd like to see played out. For like a rotation proof, we've done about 12-ish, 13 at this point. I can try to do a couple more budget ones. I can do an Elementals one if there's interest. I'm gonna try this hand. It's interesting. Obviously the mana base is a little weird, but we have 2 3-drops and we have early disruption. Or early threat. And of course, paired up against mono red, most likely. Let's see if they shock. Oh, I was just about to say Tithe Taker would be a perfect 2-drop in this situation. Whatever creature they play, we can bounce it. Oh, this is Gruel, so even better. So I'm gonna get Gideon going. Even if they have a Spellbreaker, it does not enough to kill. Let's give it lifelink. That gets us back ahead. Teferi bounces whatever they have. It's another Spellbreaker. So here, before I attack,
sorry I'm late. That's more like it.
Okay, so we're just drawing mono Tithe Takers. So Teferi's dead regardless here. So I'm just gonna go with the lifelink plan.
I will lend you my strength.
Because the Spellbreaker has Trample, that basically allowed us to get 6 points of damage in game 2. Oh, we got Phoenix. Phoenix is a bit problematic, but it does allow us...
I've got it.
Our mana base is really bad right now. So I'm going to give this Indestructible.
Prepare for battle.
So the Indestructible means if they block here... See, that's interesting. You could block the Gideon and just get it back, but they might be afraid if we have a removal spell. Here, I'm just gonna pass the turn. So, depending how they attack, if they go loose with it, I can flash in Spectral Sailor. Yeah, so now I can protect the Gideon. I can down tick it. Cool. This deck's actually been really good. We're 2-0 in matches. Won this one, and then in the matches we were 4-1. So 5-1 in the games we played with it. So for those of you just tuned in, the final deck list. The only thing I can't really comment on is Oketra. We never drew it in any of our games. But it's basically a mix of creatures, disruptions, planeswalkers, and then a sideboard option of a bunch more select disruption spells. Selective Snare was definitely the MVP in the Vampires matchup. Don't really know about Dovin. We didn't really play into Feather or like Jung Dinos, anything like that. So probably some more testing, but this one was definitely a promising deck. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to wrap it up now. If you came in part stream, want to check it out, it should be up on YouTube later this evening, if not for sure tomorrow morning. Appreciate those who tuned in, and have a great night or day.